Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's tutorial is going to be on how to tighten the under bust and the over bust. You can use this for your bustier and also for your English wear. Okay, so I'll just show you how to contour the under bust, and this is just my normal basic body. I have the tutorial on the channel. The difference between my normal basic body and this one is this dart here. This one is 1 inch on both sides, while on the basic body is 1/2 inch on both sides. Okay, so that is why you are seeing this other side here is wider. Okay, so I use 1 inch here, making it 2 inch dart, right? And I have added seam allowance to this, as you can see. So next I'm going to show you what I marked. This is my chest line, which is 8 inch, and this is my bust line, which is 11 inch, and this is my waistline, which is 18 inch. Okay, so to this I added 2 inches extra to replace this bust dart. Okay, this is the bust dart and it's 2 inch, and I'll be cutting this out. So you add the 2 inch. This is more than 2 inch. Don't worry about that. I'll be cutting that out later. Okay, so now let's take our under bust measurement. To contour or to tighten your under bust, you need to take the measurement. So my under bust is 14 and this is 14 here. Okay, so you can use this for your bustier and also your English wear. All right, so I added 1 inch seam allowance on these basic bodies already. Okay, and the down part I added 3 inches, 1 inch for seam allowance, 2 inch for the dart. Okay, the dart is 2 inch on the side, right? So now to contour or to tighten your under bust, you need to take your under bust measurement. Okay, this is the main line and here is seam allowance. Okay, this place I added 3 inches, like I said before, 2 inch for this dart here and 1 inch for seam allowance. That is why the shape is like this. Okay, so here is 1 inch. So I'm going to take my under bust measurement. The under bust I'm working with is 33. 33 divided by 4 is 8.25, right? So I'll be taking the 8.25 on the under bust line here. Okay, so this is 8.25 here. You mark whatever you get here like this, and then next you are going to check whatever you have there, measure whatever you have here. So what I have here left is 1.5, and this is what I'm going to use to contour the under bust. So to contour your under bust, you can either divide this by 2. This 1.5 I have here, you can divide it by 2. That is going to be 0.75, or you mark the smallest one, which is 1/2 inch on the center front, and then mark the bigger one on this side. Okay, you can divide this by 2, the 1 inch by 2, you have 0.75. You mark it on both sides. Okay, or you can divide or mark the smaller one on the center front and the bigger one at the side here. So that is what I'm going to be doing. I'll mark 1/2 inch at the center front here, and then I'll mark 1 inch this other side. Okay, so we are doing this on the under bust line, right? Okay, so this is 1 inch here, and the other one I marked 1/2 inch. So now I'm going to connect it to this 1/2 inch here. Okay, so this is the 1/2 inch here. I'm going to connect it upward with a curve like this towards the bust line. Remember, you come down by 1/2 inch from your bust line. Okay, so I'm just using my pencil so that to be sure of my curve before I use my marker to highlight it. Okay, so let me highlight it with my marker now. Okay, so next is to bring this dart towards the dart leg like this. Bring it down to the dart leg like this. Okay, and we have successfully contoured our under bust. We're cutting this dart out, right? So now to contour our over bust or to tighten our over bust, if you're making a two dress or a tube top, or you want it to have a yoke, just extend the dart line upward like this. Take the dart line up like this, and then you decide how deep you want your neckline to be. So you can go up by 2 inch, or this is already 8 inch, or you go up by 1 inch. So you can start to use 6 for your yoke or 7. So I am using 7. I went up by 1 inch, right? And I'm going to draw a line there. So you just extend this dart towards that line also. Okay, so for an average size, you mark 0.75 on both sides. So this is the bust line here. You go up by half an inch, connect it towards this half an inch we went up at the bust line. So this is 0.75 line here. You're going to mark it on both sides for an average size. For a large size, you can use 1 inch. For a small size, you can use ½ inch or also 0.75. Okay, so we have successfully tightened the over bust, and this will help your tube top to lap very well on your chest line. Okay, so next you blend this point here. You blend it very well so that your curve will come out perfectly. Okay, you blend it out. So now we have contoured our under bust and our over bust. So for your sweetheart neck, you're going to come down by 2 inch or 2.5. You decide how deep you want it to be, and you're going to curve towards this dart like this, So I'm going to use my pencil first to be sure of my curve before I use my marker. Then the other dart, you extend it towards the armhole like this. Okay, so let me use my marker to highlight it so that you will see it. So if you're making a tube top, this is what you're just going to cut out, and your pattern for your tube top or dress is ready. But if you're making with a yoke, you just attach your yoke back. The upper part is going to serve as your yoke. Okay, so this is what you're going to cut out if you're making a tube dress or top. But if you want to add your yoke, you use the upper part. That will be your yoke. So I'm going to highlight this very well so that it will be clear enough. So you're going to cut this out. This is going to be your tube or your bustier with yoke, right? And I will show you how to add your seam allowance at the side at the end of this video. So that is your yoke, and this is your bodies. Remember, I'll be cutting this bust that out. Okay, we'll be cutting this out so that your dress or your top will take a very good shape, right? Okay, so I'm not making use of this dart. I'm using a princess dart. The dress I'm making is on the screen. Okay, so I'll be using a princess dart for that dress, and I'm just going to measure around my armhole. Whatever I get, I divide it by 2. Okay, the armhole is 9, so the midpoint is going to be 4.5 here. All right. Okay, so this is 9. The midpoint is going to be 4.5. So I'm going to connect the 4.5 towards my bust line. Okay, I'll connect it to my bust line where I went up by ½ an inch from the bust line here. So you're going to connect this towards, this is the bust line, right? Here is the bust line. Remember, it went up by ½ an inch. Okay, so you connect from here down towards to the ½ an inch here, right? Okay, so you can either use your curve ruler or a freehand. So but I'll be using a curve ruler since I have one. So you connect like this. If you watched up to this point, thank you very much. Please like this video and share also. If you're new, please subscribe. It really means a lot to me. Thank you, guys. So this is my princess dart, and on that line I'm going to come down by ½ an inch. Here I'm going to mark ½ an inch here, and then I'll blend it towards the princess dart line like this. So my princess dart is ready. Okay, so I'm going to add 1 inch towards the armhole for the seam allowance. If you did not do that, when you join your fabric together, you'll be having shortage at the armhole side. So here I'm going to add 1 inch upward like this to replace the dart I'm going to cut out. So if it's excess, you can just trim it out after joining. Then I'll recurve my armhole. Okay, I'll redraw my armhole like this. So this is now my new armhole. This is my new armhole, right? Okay, so if you're making a tubeless, this 2 inch you mark upward. So let me just use my marker to highlight this point so that you see it clear. So if you're making a tubeless, you're just going to cut this out, this place that I'm marking. You cut it out. Okay, so you have to replace the seam allowance you take here at the side. If you're making a tubeless, you replace the seam allowance you're cutting upward at the side. So what I added there is 1.5, right? So I'll add it up this way, and then I'll connect it towards the bust or on the bust line. Connect it towards the on the bust line like this. Okay, so whatever allowance you're taking upward, you place it back at the side, and then you connect it like this. So this will be our new dart. You'll be cutting out what I just marked now, right? You'll be cutting out the new shape I draw. So that is how to replace your dart, but that is not what I'm working with. Like I said, I'm working with the princess dart, so I'll be cutting that out. I don't need that allowance. Okay, so I'll cut it out like this. Guys, if you watch up to this moment, please like this video. It really means a lot to me. Share and subscribe to this channel if you've not done that. Thank you. So I'm going to alter the neckline. This is 3 by 3 normal neckline, but for the dress I'm making, I'll use 4 inch for the neck width and 3.5 for the neck depth. So I'll just connect this neckline like this. So this is my new neckline. Okay, so I'll just show you how to cut this out. And if you want to see how I make that dress, how I'm going to make the dress, just comment on the comment below and I will upload the video for you guys to see. Okay, if you want to see how I sew this, how I join this together, just leave a comment below and I will upload a video on that. So you cut your dart through and then you close it up like this. Do not cut everything out, just cut it a little bit towards the dart and then you close up. Oh god, I did not cut this very well and my pattern paper is tearing. So you just cut it well and you close up the dart. You close up the dart like this. Okay, you use your masking tape to hold it down. So I'll just be holding this place that is about to tear so that it will not cut off, so that it will not tear off. So I'll hold my pattern with a masking tape and I will withdraw this side shape, okay, just to blend it so that it will be together like this, and I'll cut it out. Okay, so next I'm going to cut out this. So guys, I made a mistake. I almost spoiled my work. I wanted to cut the tube side. I forgot that I'm making the princess dart. I wanted to cut through the tube before I realized. I remembered myself and then I curved it back towards the princess dart line. Okay, So if you're making a tube, you just cut the way you draw your tube. But this, I am making it princess dart, so that is why I'm cutting it like this. But I just showed you how you can make a tube dress or tube top with this method. Okay, that is just all about under bust tightening and over bust tightening. It's very easy to make, right? So here I've cut out the neckline, and this is what we have. Okay, so after joining your fabric, you trim out any excess you have. So make sure you knot your under bust and your bust line together. When you are joining, you will know how to join. Okay, make sure you knot your under bust and your bust line. Okay, thank you guys for watching. Please like and share this video and subscribe to this channel. See you in my next tutorial. Bye.